Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. We're going to go straight into the story today because it's an important one. The ISA is changing. It's almost guaranteed. The leaks are out and I'm going to tell you all about it in this video. Stay with me throughout it. Rachel Reeves has also been crying as well. We do feel sorry for her from a human perspective, but also we want to know what we do as investors in the UK as well. So let me just give you the bigger picture for a second. Remember, this is a channel where we don't hype up the news, we don't give you fake news. I'm going to tell you everything, so you might as well stick till the end, because if you're investing in ISA, you want to know everything I say in this video. So let's just take it back a step. This news is taken from our own newsletter. I write this 3-4 hours every single day. You get the daily newsletter. The link is the first one in the description. Chancellor Reeves' Mansion House speech, 3 reforms that could reshape UK finance. In the next couple of weeks, we will hear from the one and only Rachel Reeves once again. So she's going to step up to the podium on July the 15th with her most consequential financial speech yet. 3 major reforms are expected to fundamentally alter how Britons save, invest and retire, but each comes with serious controversy that could define Labour's economic credibility. So I'm going to come on to the 5, the reduced ISA amount, what is actually going to be reduced into, what the Q&As are, what some critics are saying, and how we get prepared for it. So do stick around and do please hit the like button if you do appreciate us coming and telling you all the news straight away. So Reeves will unveil the UK's first ever financial services growth and comprehensiveness strategy, a comprehensive plan to transform Britain's financial sector from a risk-averse post-2008 model to one that actively drives growth. That's how they're going to sell it. We're going into growth. We want growth, even though we've seen their numbers of growth are pretty terrible. The strategy focused on 5 pillars: AI adoption, regulatory reforms, regional development, skill enhancement, and international partnerships. All sounds brilliant. But can they do it? This represents the government's commitment to regulating for growth rather than purely managing risk, and the most dramatic shift in financial policy ever since the banking crisis. So, I'm going to tell you how this all fits into the ISA story, because that's the main thing that's going to affect each and one of us most likely. So the controversy. Industry insiders worry that this signals a dangerous return to pre-crisis thinking. Financial sector unions and consumers. Let me turn that off. That is from a
Denise
live
Buckner
stream.
donated $5 through a super chat. Everyone is capable of having a change of heart.
I apologise about that. That just happens when we're going live. Martyn, the owner of this channel, is live, so that's why that's come up. So the industry insiders worry that this signals a dangerous return to pre-crisis thinking. Financial sector unions and consumer groups argue that prioritising growth over stability could impose savers and taxpayers to unnecessary risks, especially given volatile pension fund managers who are already anticipating for 2025. So this is the other side to it, the pension mega fund mandate. I'm going to come on to the ISA story in just a second, but we need to also understand the other problems, because I know if I give you the ISA news first, everyone's going to listen to that and not listen to the other important news coming out from Reeves. So this is important for you guys to listen to. So the pension mega funds mandate. So the pension mega fund mandate is the government's plan to merge dozens of smaller local governments and workplace pension schemes into a handful of massive funds. Think they're basically turning small pots into giant ones. And the reason they're doing that is because larger funds can invest more efficiently, take advantage of opportunities like infrastructure projects and private equity that are usually out the hands of these smaller schemes, and they're obviously trying to save money. So the idea is that bigger funds will deliver better returns and unlock billions for UK investment. They want these small pension funds, they can't really invest in the UK, and they don't have enough money. However, if they make it into these big ones, which does have risks, they can then use that pension money to invest in the UK. But the critics argue that this forced consolidation could undermine the security and independence of individual pension schemes and risks turning people's retirement savings into a tool for government policy rather than focusing solely on the members' best interests. Are they serving your best interests, or are they serving their best interests? It seems like it's their best interests once again. So the Chancellor will confirm government's reserve powers to force pension schemes into a 25 billion mega fund if voluntary consolidation fails. This aggressive reform targets 86 separate local government pension schemes and workplace defined contribution schemes, creating Australian-styled mega funds capable of investing 50 billion in UK infrastructure by 2030. The backlash: we've already have Scottish widows notably refused to participate in voluntary doing it voluntarily, citing concerns over members' outcome and fiduciary duty. The newly formed Pension Security Alliance warns that these reforms threaten to turn pension schemes into piggy banks for others to dip into. And it looks like they are going to be forcing this in her speech coming up in a couple weeks' time. And we're coming on to the ISA reform right now. So industry experts worry that forcing consolidation risks sacrifices longer-term member security for short-term political gain. The City UK cautiously supports reforms in principle, but stresses that need for member-focused outcomes. With over 10 million people in defined benefit schemes potentially affected, the stakes couldn't be higher. So be careful, know what's going on, understand if there's anything you can do. You can speak to a financial advisor, see if everything's okay on your side. But remember, this isn't really something you have a say in. They're going to do it if they want to, and they're going to use your money to invest where they like. So the ISA reform, the cash crackdown. This is the main story that everyone will be interested in. We are on to the main story. Please do hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is what we're reading from right now, is the Senseis Insights newsletter. This is the newsletter here. What you get the 5 things you need to know every single morning. You get a newsletter that comes every morning. You get the one big thing. What's one thing you need to know straight away? What's the money move of the day? A financial coaching tip. You get the market snapshot. You get the 5 things you need to know. If you are investing in the markets, you need to keep up to date with the news, and we bring you the non-biased real news. 5 things you need to know. 4 hours of research every single morning I put into this. Get the 5 things you need to know. Then you get your deeper dive story, which goes into something that will be important to build your knowledge and see other opportunities. You get the financial calendar, what's happening during the day and the week ahead. You also get a chart of the day. So the chart that I'm looking at, technical analysis. So please do consider signing up for the newsletter. There's a 1-week free trial, and there's a free plan, and there's a monthly plan. All is in the first link of the description. It's also in the comment section, and this is where you would have found this story today. So, the ISA reform, the cash crackdown. The most controversial announcement will likely be slashing that cash ISA limit from 20,000 to as little as 4,000. That is a massive drawdown. We're talking over 75% less you can invest in these cash ISAs potentially. This dramatic 80% cut aims to nudge Britain's 300 billion in cash ISA investments in towards stocks and shares, supporting the government's push for domestic investment culture. This reform has triggered the most vocal opposition. Martyn Lewis called it piss people off economics, arguing it won't sustainably nudge people to investing, but will simply result in higher taxes on modest savings. Going after the working class, it seems, once again, or the middle class as well. So, building societies are fighting back hard, warning mortgage rates will become more expensive for borrowers if cash ISA funding is reduced. Yorkshire Building Society called it a retrograde step, while Nationwide's Tom Ridley emphasised that cash ISAs enable us to fund for our first time buying lending. The mortgage lending impact is particularly concerning. Research from Nottingham Building Society shows nearly half of 24 to 34-year-olds say cuts will impact their ability to save for home deposits. An estimated 2.5 million would say they would simply save less if limits are reduced. Consumer anger is Palatable. Radio phone-ins report furious listeners, particularly retirees who can't afford to increase their risk profiles. Critics argue this rewards financially savvy investors while penalising curious savers who rely on guaranteed returns. I'll give you my thoughts in a second. These reforms represents Labour's biggest economic gamble yet. Success could position them as a party that unlocks Britain's growth potential through smart financial engineering. Failure risks accusations of mismanaging people's life savings. I'm going to skip to what people savers are watching. With no official change has yet been made, growing speculation that Rachel Reeves will slash cash ISA cap from 20,000 to between 4 and 10,000 has created a wave of uncertainty among savers. With Mansion House speech now just days away, many are closely watching what could be the most significant ISA shake-up in a decade. Some savers are choosing to use their full 20,000 excuse me. I've got hay fever, it's hot in the UK. Do excuse me. Some savers are choosing to use their full 20,000 ISA allowance now before any reforms kick in. That is something people are exploring. I don't give financial advice here, I'm not a financial advisor. But one thing people are doing, if they already have the money on the side, they're saying, I'm going to put it in before they can take it away from me. Because we don't know if they're going to announce it from next tax year. We don't know if they're going to announce it on the day, and it can't, and he can't from exactly that date. It would be hard for them to do that because everyone's systems will have to change. So I don't imagine it will be from the day, but it can be. And they're just saying, well, if I've got the money on the side, I might as well invest it now than later on. Because right now, if you put it in, of course, then they can't take it away from you. But my opinion is, a lot of people are running to do it and potentially hurting their own finances by trying to take out loans to do this. I wouldn't recommend taking out loans to add to it, because it's not even confirmed that this will happen on the day, and it will be very hard for them to enforce that no one can add to their cash ISAs on the day, because you have to think of all the providers that will have to get themselves updated. So be careful, but that is something some people are doing who already have the money on the side to put into their cash ISAs. Others are exploring alternative options like stocks and shares ISAs, lifetime ISAs, or junior ISAs for their children, all of which are expected to remain unchanged. If you do need to speak to a financial advisor, leave a comment or contact me on Discord or on X, Sensei_crypto_ on X. And I used to work at a financial advising company, and I can give you some good contacts of people I trust. Anyway, crucially, existing balances in cash ISAs are not expected to be affected. Only future contributions could fall under the new cap if introduced. Some providers also offer flexible cash ISAs, which allow savers to withdraw and redeposit within the same tax year without reducing their allowance. But not all ISAs offer this flexibility. With the clock ticking, attention is turning to how quickly any changes could be implemented, whether they take effect immediately from the next tax year or through a phased approach. So this is some questions that people are asking. Can I use my full 20,000 ISA this year? Yes, the total ISA limit hasn't changed yet, but Reeves can announce reforms that apply immediately or from April of 2026. Will I lose the money I already saved in my cash ISA? No. Existing balances are expected to stay protected and tax-free. Why is the government doing this? They're doing this it's their little plan, that whether or not it works, probably not, is to get people to invest in the stocks and shares to fuel growth. But most people invest in the US anyway. And secondly, you're just the people that don't have the risk tolerance to invest in stocks and shares, maybe the pensioners, the people who want to buy a home, the young people, they're not going to benefit from this because they want a steady, guaranteed growth rather than stock markets swings and roundabouts. Is this the end of safe investing? Not exactly, but it's a clear push away from cash-based saving that could hit retirees and first-time buyers the hardest, exactly what I said. So the critics like Martyn Lewis didn't mince words, calling it a piss-off for economics and warning it can penalise cautious investors. I've told you about this. So what to watch in Reeves's speech? With three big reforms on the table, the ISA crackdown, pensions mega funds, and a new growth strategy, Reeves' Mansion House speech on July the 15th could reshape how Britain saves and invests for the next generation. Cash, ISA cap. Will she confirm the cut? Stocks and shares push. Will the government add incentives or tax breaks to encourage the shift? That could be good. Pension mega funds. Will consolidation be voluntary, or Reeves activate reserve powers to enforce it? Growth strategy. Could there be new ISA wrappers or UK equity only funds to funnel savings into domestic markets? Those are what to watch. And today we saw in Prime Minister questions what Rachel Reeves was feeling. She was feeling the effects of all of this. So let me show you what was going on and how she was reacting. Of course, we do feel sorry for her. We don't like anyone being under that pressure to be crying in front of the public eye. But we need to try and depict what that actually means. So let me play you this.
Looks absolutely miserable. Labour MPs, they can point as much as they like. The fact is, Labour MPs are going on the record saying that the Chancellor is toast, and the reality is that she is a human shield for his incompetence. In January, he said that she would be in post till the next election. Will she really?
Prime Minister. Well, she certainly won't. Mr. Speaker, I have to say I'm always cheered up when she asks me questions or responds to a statement, because she always makes a complete mess of it and shows just how unserious and irrelevant.
You can see that she just asked if she's going to still be there. Keir Starmer's definitely not giving an answer, and you can see Rachel Reeves upset. So let me just show you one more minute of this, because it's quite important, and I'll give you my thoughts on this as well.
They are, but she talks about the black hole. They left a £22 billion black hole in our economy, and we're clearing it up. And I'm really proud, Mr. Speaker, that in the first year of a Labour government we got free school meals, breakfast clubs, childcare, got 15 billion. Planning and infrastructure is pounding forward, building 1.5 million homes, the biggest investment in social and affordable housing, and of course, Mr. Speaker, the 3 trade deals. Remember the ones that they couldn't get, including the US trade deal. On Monday, those tariffs came down. That secured the jobs at JLR. That's who we care about on this side of the House.
How awful for the Chancellor that he couldn't confirm that she would stay in place.
There we go. The speculation is now. There we go. The speculation now is that Chancellor Rachel Reeves will not be staying in power, that she will be sacked or she will leave. We could see by expressions she doesn't look very happy either. That is going to send some bad signals into the bond markets for the UK, and we don't even know if she's going to be delivering the speech. So what does that actually mean? To me, it looks like she's under a lot of pressure. And that she is potentially bringing in a big change, whether it is this ISA change. And she's feeling the effects of it, because not many people are going to be happy with this, and not many people are happy with what is to come. So that's my reading into of what's happening and why she's upset. It could be private issues, we don't know, but she was seen to shed a few tears as well, and Keir Starmer couldn't confirm her position staying on. So the 20,000 cash ISA does seem to be leaving, and we might be getting a 4,000 one instead. Be careful with how you what you do with your money. Take your time, speak to a financial advisor. Do read the newsletter. The link is the first in description. Do let me know if you sign up to it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, there will be 2 videos either side for you to have a look at. There'll be let me just make sure we're on the right. I'm having issues with this one. There'll be either side for you to have a look at. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.